Good to be with you. I'm Tony DeCopel. The breaking news right now. The dramatic new pictures showing an armed individual at Nancy Guthrie's house. The figure in a face mask and black gloves seen walking up to her front door and tampering with the camera. What the FBI is saying now. And the new reaction coming in from Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie. Also developing a CBS News exclusive, the massive immigration raid in Idaho. Nearly 400 U.S. citizens swept up along with 100 undocumented immigrants. Children as young as 14 zip-tied and questioned about their immigration status.
Can you show me, Sohei, where you had bruises?
I have bruises all right here along both wrists.
What the ACLU is now doing, and Chief Correspondent Matt Gutman tonight with our full investigation. Also tonight, more medals for Team USA as skier Michaela Schifrin's Olympic struggles continue. What she said after her disappointing result. And the good stuff out of Louisville tonight, a missing 3-year-old and a mystery dog law enforcement's calling a real-life Lassie.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopel.
Good evening, and we do begin with that new video released just a short time ago. An armed person that the FBI is asking for your help in identifying tonight. You can see this individual right there on your screen on the doorstep of Nancy Guthrie's home. His face is covered, his hands are in black gloves, but ask yourself tonight if you recognize anything at all about this person's movements, maybe their clothes. Take it all in. These images were taken just before the 84-year-old grandmother disappeared in the early morning hours of February 1st. And her daughter, Today co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, saying tonight, someone out there recognizes this person. So let's get right to Jonathan Vigliotti once again with the latest. Jonathan, good evening.
And Tony, good evening to you. This person went to great lengths to conceal their identity. You can only see their eyes and their mouth, but experts say what they're wearing, even how they walk, is telling, and they believe it is only a matter of time before there's a name.
Chilling new surveillance video captures the scene outside Nancy Guthrie's front door. A masked person, armed with what appears to be a weapon, approaches.
What do you see when you look closer at that video?
Take a look at each piece of clothing, the backpack, look at his eyebrows, the ski mask, and then collectively watch how he walks. Look at his gait. Somebody's going to know that if this is a relative of theirs or a friend or a coworker.
Jason Pack is a retired FBI special agent. He points to the backpack filled with material, a treasure trove of clues in just a few seconds of video.
What does this video mean for the case?
It's really going to break this case wide open.
The FBI says Guthrie's Nest camera was disabled at 1:47 a.m. 41 minutes later, her pacemaker app disconnects from her phone, which was left behind along with a trail of blood. Our cameras captured what the neighborhood looks like in the middle of the night, poorly lit.
Even in daylight, this is a sprawling high desert community. Neighbors' homes are blocked by tall vegetation, and the closest traffic camera is nearly half a mile away.
As welcome as the new evidence may prove in solving the case, it's now 10 days since Nancy Guthrie was taken.
Why did it take so long to retrieve this vital video?
The fact that they're able to go when there's no subscription and it's just out there in cyberspace, flying around and piece this back together and find that one needle in the haystack is actually really remarkable.
And now he says the FBI is going through the evidence pixel by pixel.
The pressure is on, and usually that's when the criminals will make mistakes.
And late today, search and rescue teams with the Sheriff's Department, along with the FBI, went door to door through the neighborhood where Nancy Guthrie's daughter, Annie, and her son-in-law live, as law enforcement continues canvassing the area.
And Pack says the FBI is working to identify the brands of that backpack and clothing to possibly locate where it was purchased and possibly by whom. Meanwhile, officials continue to call on the public's help. Those tip line numbers are there on your screen, Tony.
Yeah, Jonathan, thank you very much. For more on this video, let's bring in Lance Lysing, a retired supervisory special agent with the FBI. Lance, thank you very much for joining us. Help us watch this video with your professional eye. What sticks out to you?
Well, there are a lot of things that stick out. First of all, the specific, unique features of the items he's wearing. It could be the backpack. It could be the ski mask, which is very unique stitching, unique eye set. Then inside the ski mask, you see his eyebrows, very manicured, which is unusual, and a little bit of facial hair, which could easily be gone right after they leave the scene here. But what it appears to me is someone who's taking great planning to hide their appearance, yet poor planning and poor professionalism as to how they approached this door and the ultimate crime scene.
You know, Lance, this is a moment where the authorities are asking for the public's help, but by doing so, they're also putting pressure on whoever this individual is. There's a balance there that has to be struck. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully the trap is closing on this suspect. Hopefully they feel that pressure. This is the break they needed. Not only is this going to go out to the public and increase viable, relevant tips, but it's also going to have a cascading effect of additional leads for the FBI to follow with all those items of evidence there. Also speaks a little bit to motive when you look into the video.
You know, Lance, it's remarkable we have this video at all, but the sheriff also said there were other cameras in the house, so perhaps more footage could be put together. What are you expecting?
So these videos are what have been released. If there are other Nest cameras or other cameras inside, which we suspect there were, hopefully they've been able to recover videos inside as well, which will lead to a lot. There was actually one image they showed us that the suspect was not wearing the backpack. It's not time-stamped. Can't tell where that came from. Like, had to have come from before they destroyed the camera. So it was likely an approach prior to going to the door and then retreating to get the backpack and the gun and then coming back again.
So much good information here and a lot of smart people like yourself looking at it. Special Agent retired Lance Leising, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We turn now to the latest on the Epstein files released 11 days ago now and still generating new headlines. Among the latest is a document showing that in 2006, President Trump spoke with Palm Beach police about their investigation of Epstein, saying, quote, "Thank goodness you're stopping him." Here's Justice correspondent Scott McFarland.
A newly surfaced record in the Epstein files alleges Trump told a Palm Beach police chief 20 years ago about Epstein, "Thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this." And that he was around Epstein once when teenagers were present, but got the hell out of there. That contradicts Trump's claim he was unaware of Epstein's crimes.
What did Jeffrey Epstein mean in his emails when he said you knew about the girls?
I know nothing about that.
The White House press secretary could not answer if the account was true.
Look, it was a phone call that may or may not have happened in 2006. I don't know the answer to that question. What I'm telling you is that what President Trump has always said is that he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of his Mar-a-Lago club.
Thank you, Chairman Moran.
Trump's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick was also pressed today on his past with Epstein.
We had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife.
Lutnick acknowledged he traveled to Epstein's Island in 2012, despite earlier claims he'd cut ties in 2005.
I don't recall why we did it, but
Mr. Secretary.
Scott, while we have you on another subject, I understand you're learning more about the FBI raid last month when agents seized boxes of 2020 ballots from an election center in Georgia. What more can you tell us?
They were seeing the FBI search warrant for the first time. It shows it was a Trump aide named Kurt Olson, a known election denier, who triggered this probe. Olson previously worked to overturn the 2020 results, including calling Trump several times on January 6th. The affidavit argues there were inconsistencies in the initial tallies of those ballots 6 years ago, but does not allege any foreign interference or specific intent by anyone to defraud. Trump continues to lie about the 2020 results, and he is sowing distrust in the coming midterm elections, Tony.
Scott, thank you very much. We turn now to Capitol Hill, where top immigration officials took questions about the two Americans shot to death by federal agents in Minneapolis last month and at times defended their own morality. "Do you think you're going to hell?" demanded one lawmaker, as ICE's acting director called this, quote, "the deadliest operating environment in agency history." Here's Nicole Skanga.
Still furious about the fatal shootings of Alex Preddy and Renee Good, Democrats focus their anger on ICE's acting director, Todd Lyons.
Do you think you're going to hell, Mr. Lyons?
I'm not going to end.
Of course not.
Mr. Lyons, will you resign from ICE?
No, sir, I won't.
Democrats are demanding changes to ICE protocols.
If you don't want to be called a fascist regime or secret police, then stop acting like one.
They want to require the use of body cameras. Just 3,000 of 13,000 agents currently wear them, and ban face masks.
Will you commit, yes or no,
to immediately unmasking every agent conducting immigration enforcement and requiring them to wear standard uniforms with identifiable badges?
No.
Well, that's a sad response.
Republicans largely defended the witnesses.
It seems like one side of the aisle is in favor of open borders and wants to abolish ICE.
And Lyons shot back at the attacks.
But let me send a message to anyone who thinks they can intimidate us. You will fail.
ICE and CBP's leaders wouldn't say whether any agents were disciplined following the Minneapolis operation, but they pledged to release their agency's investigative findings into the deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Good, 2 members of Congress. Tony?
Nicole, thank you very much. To immigration now and a pair of CBS News exclusives. First, the new data on exactly who ICE is arresting. As CBS News reported Monday, in which the White House has now confirmed, ICE arrested nearly 400,000 people in President Trump's first year in office. Of those, nearly 60% had criminal histories, meaning charges or convictions, including many for serious crimes such as drug trafficking and child pornography, and several thousand cases involving rape or murder. At the same time, however, less than 14% had violent criminal records, and nearly 40%, more than 150,000 people, had civil immigration offenses, but no criminal history at all. Second, in another CBS News exclusive tonight, a question of tactics in the story of an immigration raid in rural Idaho. While allegedly focused on Mexican cartel activity, the raid in fact swept up more than 300 U.S. citizens, along with 100 undocumented immigrants, just 5 of whom were later arrested on gambling charges. In the process, children as young as 14 were zip-tied and questioned on their immigration status. Here's Chief Correspondent Matt Gutman.
When about 200 armed agents stormed this horse racing event in rural Idaho, Annabelle Romero says she had no idea who they were.
All I'm asking is for clarification. Who are you? Why am I being detained?
And their response?
Their response, I'm going to blow your head off.
Canyon County Sheriff Kieran Donahue was there on horseback.
So this was a very, very large-scale operation, maybe the largest I've ever been involved with.
The sheriff says nearly 500 people were at the October 19th event, 375 of them U.S. citizens or legal residents, including some 60 children. The sheriff says the event was linked to Mexican cartel activity and asked ICE to join. But so far, only 5 people have been arrested for nonviolent illegal gambling. In a lawsuit filed tonight, the ACLU is accusing Donahue and the federal government of using excessive force, including against children.
Law enforcement should not be zip tying children. They have done long-lasting damage to children.
Can you show me, Sohei, where you had bruises?
I had bruises all right here along both wrists.
Romero and her 14-year-old daughter, Suhei, both U.S. citizens, said agents herded them along with Romero's 2 younger children to the racetrack.
Was it scary, you two?
There, officers zip-tied Suhei, and that's her 8-year-old sister, by her side.
I'm just like there crying, like I'm struggling to breathe, like I can't even get words out.
With her hands bound behind her back, Romero says she was unable to console her daughter.
I can't hug her, I can't hold her because you guys won't let me go, and like she's only 14.
In an email, the Department of Homeland Security first told CBS News it was a conspiracy theory. In a second email, they denied ICE agents zip-tied children.
The youngest that was zip-tied was 16 years old, and he had a mustache. There were kids in there. They weren't zipped. Those little ones were not zip-tied.
This is a picture of Suhei. We met her this morning. She's
Okay.
14 years old.
Okay.
She's I would say, a child, a girl who was zip-tied, and these are the bruises from those zip ties.
Okay. And
Have you seen that or heard?
No, I had not. I had not seen that. But I will tell you this. I've been in this business a long time. I've gone against gang members who are a lot younger than that.
She was with her 6-year-old brother and 8-year-old sister.
But you're taking that out of context. We
what
do not
kind
know
of
her.
context do you need? There's
We do
a
not
young
know
girl
her.
with 2 small children with her.
We
How
don't.
dangerous could she possibly be?
We don't know.
Now, the sheriff is facing community backlash.
Have ties been broken with your community?
To some degree, I believe they have. Absolutely.
My parents, they came over here to the United States to give us a better life so we didn't have to suffer. And that day, I felt like our freedom was taken away from us.
Matt Gutman, CBS News, Wilder, Idaho.
Matt, thank you. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, the Winter Games, a history-making medal for Team USA, while the Quad God lived up to that fabulous nickname. Now to an update from the Winter Olympics in Italy. Team USA adding 5 more medals today, bringing the total so far to 7. But Norway leads the medal count with 12. And the frustration continues for American skiing superstar Michaela Schifrin. Kaylee O'Grady in Milan with all the action.
Skiing star Michaela Schifrin's Olympic return didn't go as planned. Schifrin and teammate Breezy Johnson finished just shy of the podium in the Alpine women's combined event. But Team USA still took bronze.
So I'm going to have to learn what to do, what to adjust in the short time we have before the other tech races.
Americans racked up silver medals in men's cross-country skiing, men's free ski slopestyle, and mixed doubles curling, a first for the U.S.
You know, at the beginning of the season, if you would have told us that we would be walking away from the Olympics with a silver medal, we'd be really proud of ourselves.
Meanwhile, all eyes were on the ice as U.S. figure skater Ilya Malinin began his quest for individual gold. The quad god jumped his way to first in the men's short program, but it was American Maxim Naumov who was moved to tears, making his Olympic debut after losing his parents last year in the midair collision over Washington, D.C. As he took to the ice, a quote showed on the Jumbotron, "Mom and Dad, this is for you." Susan Hamill-Botari is a figure skating coach and family friend.
I've seen him go through the ups and downs, but he's always determined, he's always inspirational, and he's a fighter.
Now, Tony, across town, the U.S. women's hockey team trounced Canada in one of the biggest rivalries at these Olympics. While it was just a prelim match, it was likely a preview of next week's gold medal face-off. Tony?
We'll keep watching. Kelly, thank you very much. Up next, a major ruling in the murder trial of a Utah mom accused of spiking her husband's drink with a fatal dose of fentanyl. Jury selection is underway in the murder trial of that Utah mom accused of poisoning her husband and then later publishing a children's book about grief. Corey Richins is her name. She was not in the courtroom today, but a judge ruled that the media could be there. Prosecutors say Richins spiked her husband's cocktail with a lethal dose of fentanyl back in 2022. She's pleaded not guilty. Opening statements are set for later this month. What's a fair price to pay the babysitter these days? Well, it helps to know what the neighbors are doing. And now we do know that the going rate rose 5% in the last year to more than $26 an hour on average to hire a babysitter for one child. This according to Urban Sitter. And if you've got 2 kids, it's nearly $30 an hour. The most expensive city for babysitting, San Francisco. The cheapest, San Antonio. Up next, the good stuff featuring a very good dog who helped the police find a missing toddler. Stay with us. We're back with the good stuff tonight. The story of a dog that hasn't been claimed or identified, but is most definitely a hero tonight. And we've got the video to prove it.
He lives there.
It comes via police body cam footage from Louisville last month. A missing 3-year-old child. More than a half dozen officers on the search. They sent up a helicopter, but had no luck until this happened.
Oh, what's up, dude? There's a dog. Where's he at? Let's go.
That's Officer Josh Thompson responding to a dog that seemed to have something important to say.
It led me all the way back to the backyard. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, this kid's in this backyard.
And sure enough,
the dog went right to the back bumper. Check the rear here. Goes to the back bumper and just sat there. Yeah, he's right here.
After a quick lesson in car locks,
Grab and pull it. There we go! I don't think I've ever seen a happier kid in my life. He jumped out of the car, bear hugged my neck, and wouldn't let go. Good job, buddy.
The dog had cracked the case.
Bless, he found him. Man, I don't know where the dog came from, but it was a blessing from God that day.
And here's the thing about that dog. Officer Thompson says he'd been patrolling that neighborhood for 2 years and had never seen the dog before that moment. And he hasn't seen the dog since that day. And to this very day, the department still does not know who the dog belongs to. That's another day in America. I'm Tony DeCopel. For all of us here at CBS News, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Good night.